Child, I feel like I need a filter. I look like
Hello.
I am going under, child. Hey,
Hello, people. We're
world.
doing
Oh,
a
not that.
reality recap.
Child, where the black people filters at? This is not. Oh, we back with the angel wings.
No, we're not going up yonder today. Thank
We're
you
going
so
up
much.
yonder.
I was just like, why does this look like an obituary? We're not doing
Oh,
that.
okay.
Girl,
Psychedelic.
that looks like
I don't know where the
a
black people
headache.
filters are. We had these out here. I don't know what happened.
Mm, yeah.
Girl, it is ghetto. All right, we just gonna leave that be. We're gonna let this
Uh,
cook just as it is. This is the
all
Lord
right.
made us.
All
Hey,
right.
YouTube.
Hi, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. Hey, Ken.
What's up?
My godmother is here. She
What
probably gonna
up?
click off once we get going, but hey, friends, over down to YouTube and IG. We're doing a reality recap. The shows are back, the chaos and mess is back, and we are back to share our thoughts upon it. So,
Yes. As you know, at the top of the show, we do a little bit of pop culture. So let's
yeah.
get to it, shall we? And bear with me because your girl's a little under the weather, okay? We're going to be all
Mhm.
right. So over on YouTube, I make this disclaimer every time. For Instagram, you can see the actual show with all the notes and things attached to it,
Hey,
okay?
Ron.
All right. So first story out of the gate. Old school heartthrob Mr. Shamar Moore is expecting his first child. I want to say Shamar is in his 50s.
Got to
So
be.
more power to you, my man. Like,
Randomly, okay, this is a random sister wives moment. Apparently, Christine's celebrity crush is also Shamar Moore. It was like I couldn't see that coming because I didn't even think that certain sects of the, you know, Mormons don't even really like black people like that. So I was just like, "Ooh, that was new for me." Okay,
I
cool.
mean, they be catching us every now and again. They'll catch a couple of black folks
Yeah,
out there in the Mormonism lands of it all.
definitely.
Oh, this is in the wrong place. Go back. Everything is backwards. Oh no,
Oh,
it's
if
not
y'all never
backwards.
been here before, Black and Curious, I'm Kendra, that's Dehjai. We do pop culture and reality TV and how they collide, and real life. And follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, all of the things.
Girl, the perplexness of it all. Something is out of order because it's not there. That is why. All right, so we're just gonna talk
Let's just
through
move
this.
on.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo Bill star Damar Hamlin has been released to go home, so he is
I
in
saw that.
recovery. That was what the second story was, but for some reason, I forgot to put it in the clip, so that's okay.
It's
um,
awesome because that was scary.
yeah, after having had, he's only 24 years old and had a heart attack on the field. I'm like, good
He died
God.
on the field. They had to bring him back.
Now that part I didn't know. I knew that he had a heart attack, but I didn't know that he had like coded all together. Like that's
No, they
crazy.
had to like bring him back.
Yikes. Well,
So
praise God and rest assured that this child is gonna go home and be
yes.
in recovery and back to his normal life.
Thank God.
The last story we have, I don't
Who
know
are
if
these
any of
people?
you all know this. Girl, that's Ashley Darby. She was dating Luke Goldberson or whatever his name is from the Winter House people. We was
Oh,
talking about the
he
show
went
over
to
there.
another hospital. He's in a hospital in Buffalo, but he was at least stable enough that they could transport him. So yes.
Oh, so maybe what I read today on the news circuit was just saying that he was going home. That was the headline,
He
and
was
the details.
tweeting. He tweeted and he was like thanking the fans and all of that stuff and the people who took care of him and saying like he was already the folks at the new hospital were taking good care of him or whatever. So I think that's what it was. But go ahead. Sorry. Ashley
My story
Darby.
is wrong. My bad, y'all. So yeah, Ashley Darby and Luke
Who
Goldberson were
cares?
an item. They are no longer an item. I guess they dated over the summertime, sometime after doing like the daggone BravoCon.
After
So
BravoCon, yeah.
who
cares?
Yeah, whatever.
They probably weren't
Didn't
even
know.
really together anyways. They were probably just canoodling. All right, let's move on.
Pretty much. So
Well,
yeah, on to the actual show.
we're out here right at Housewives of Potomac. Let's just start there.
Girl, so what's your take on the things that have been going down with the girls over at Potomac, honey? Because you have been MIA. Did you catch up yet?
I did.
So
And I
okay,
tweeted about it.
how we feeling?
You know what? They did too much too soon because now it's giving kind of anticlimactic and a little slow. So I was just like, y'all did too much. But now, like this last episode, in the last like 5 or 10 minutes, they got the party going again.
But this, I feel like this. It is some dramatics going on. I feel like Mia and her homegirl is putting on a show for the people. It just does not seem realistic because like what is going on? It just seems like everybody got together offline and was like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do next, right? Like,
because like their argument didn't even make sense. That's what I couldn't even understand. Like nothing about the argument even made sense. It just they're trying too hard and it's very transparent, in my opinion.
Yeah. The other argument that I was lost on is Karen and Charisse. Like, what is happening? All of a sudden, Karen was like, "Do not talk about my mother. Do not speak on my mother's name." And I was like, "Huh?
When did that happen?"
Like, what?
Are
what?
You sure?
Accuracy. I'm still lost. I don't know. I guess hopefully we will get some backstory when they come back next week. But I still don't understand what, when, how, as to like how we got here. We jumped from like why you don't like me and why you don't talk to me to don't ever speak about my mother. Like, huh?
It was a lot. My favorite part of all of this was the commentary from the Peanut Gallery in the confessionals. Candace was like, Candiace said, "This is a domestic dispute with me."
She was saying that at the table. It wasn't even just confessional. She was yelling that. She did not want to be a part.
Tickled me when she said this is a domestic dispute.
That and Karen's read when she was talking, I don't know who she was talking about, but she had said something really about Robin. She said that the lady's ring was fake and that they was never getting married and something else. And I was like, ooh, Karen.
And also, like, why was Robin getting her children fitted for suits that they're never gonna wear? It was just like,
so you agreeing with Karen.
I am. And also it's just they don't have a plan. She does not have a plan. And it's not like her sons are like growing in a phase, like in that growing teen phase where if you fit a suit and they need a different suit 6 months later, they don't need a whole new suit. Like, you know, you're not gonna be able to just roll with that suit. It's not gonna, no, they're gonna need new suits. So you need to have a plan before you get them some suits made. And it just does not seem like she has a plan. I don't watch all of the Housewives.
We're talking about the Black Housewives on Clinic. You're gonna have to get in there with us.
Just the blacks.
Just do everybody.
Well, mostly the blacks. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how this is all gonna turn out because like every episode it has been a fight. First it was Mia and Wendy that dragged on. No, first it was Candiace and Giselle, followed by Wendy and Robin, then Mia and Wendy. Now it's freaking Charisse and damn Karen. Like,
also, what was I just felt that live shows are no one's ministry on this here program, because what was Karen's live show giving? What was that?
It was the Karen and Friends. And my thing is like, if that's how she packaged it and said that this was going to be like a Karen and Friends event for Pride, it would have came off better than to be like, I'm doing my own show. Like, girl, and
she was just so adamant like that Giselle and Robin's show was a hot mess, and then Robin and Giselle were adamant that her show was a hot mess, and I was just like, I'm here to say that all of it was a mess. The both of your shows were terrible, and I would not have paid money, and if I had paid money, I would have been wanting a refund from each of you. Both.
Amen. I mean, y'all know how I feel about the day on Reasonably Shady. It just was they should have did like Karen and did a comedy house so that way it could be filled with people who are coming to see them. Being in that auditorium with 400 seats and y'all probably only had like 200 seats, if that. I'm
That is
really giving
generous.
them a lot. Right.
That is
But like
generous. And I'm not convinced that the producers were not in the audience because there was legitimately no one there.
no. That's what I said the last time. And you was like, well, there were people there. I'm like, girl, them seats was empty.
No, I said like 100 people top.
Maybe, but I mean, it would have done better for them in the little comedy house, the improv space that Karen was in. So
yeah,
we'll see
sure.
as they continue to grow and what happens next. Who else you want to talk about? On the
I'm
house
looking through my tweets to see if anything here. That was pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing else really going on in my opinion.
It's not. To your point at the start, it is a little boring because it's the same type of contrived drama.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what happens next. We forgot what you drinking, child.
Oh, I'm doing dry January, so I'm over here on a wing and a prayer. I have I had Peruvian food the other night, so y'all know what it is, chicha morada. And I just put some sparkling water to make it feel like I'm doing something and put it in a wine glass. But it's
Child, you sound like Kendall. You trying to make you a cocktail without no alcohol.
I almost bought. They have like non-alcoholic spirits now, and I almost bought some non-alcoholic bourbon, and then I was just like,
what's the point?
Yeah.
What is the point, girl? If you go drink. So yeah, we can move on along to the next. Oh,
what are you drinking?
Yes, hello. I'm just having tea because the girl is under the weather, and clearly my brain is not catching up with my words here. So we gonna make it through.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, do we want to stick with Bravo or do you want to slide on over to the Own Girls?
What else is on Bravo?
Jen Shah going to jail. She got 6.5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we talked about that.
And then Love Without Borders. I don't know if you caught up on that.
I think I did.
The only thing I gotta say with Love Without Borders is that the Panamanian coupling.
Oh, I did watch it.
Sis is different. Girl, you know good and well that you still slapping bellies with that man. Don't play with us.
Yeah, so if you're not watching, Love Without Borders is this crazy show about what Bravo is doing. And the man, he is from Houston and moved to Panama to be with this lady. And she is, you know what? He gets on my nerves. Like, he is one of those immature, childish, that's what she said type of people, which gets on my nerves. But because she is so terrible to him, I'm just like, I am a person, I have to pick a side. I have to pick a side, so I have to be on his side, and that makes me even more mad at her because I don't like him either.
I don't know. I don't have any feelings because I feel like I'm not really invested in the show. I still don't know everybody's name, but that's the one thing that stood out to me was like, you call up your ex-boyfriend and y'all are gonna go to the club or whatever. You're talking about how y'all are friends and whatever the case may be. But
and he's gonna be the Uber driver.
Right. You got this man still living in your house that you're supposed to be getting to know romantically, but like then you're gonna be at the club dancing. Now you cocktailing, you're a little tipsy, you dancing all up on the X, and it looks like it's more than what it is. But then you telling the people in the confessionals that you all, yes, you slept in the bed together, but nothing happened. Girl, tell the truth.
Girl, bye. Please. We're not buying it. We're just not buying it.
Everybody is grown as hell. Don't do this.
We're not buying it. Who else? Somebody else. Oh, Brian, the UK. I mean, not the UK. The Irish guy. I don't remember the lady that he's with.
I don't remember her name either. She's the van lady.
He got on my nerves. The van lady. He got on my nerves because he was feeling her in the beginning. And when he heard that she was 38, so kind of like at the end of her childbearing years or whatever, and he was just like, immediately no. And he just got like such a bad attitude with her. Yes. And then he started acting like, basically like, I wasn't attracted to you initially. And she was like, how? Because you were all over me from night one. So like, what are you talking about? And he was basically like, oh, I was just nervous and trying to make it work. And it's just like, my guy, you heard that she was 38. You thinking to yourself, okay, I want to have kids and I don't want to have kids right away. So we outside of the realm of how I want to do this. And so now you're not attracted. But be honest about that. You don't have to
but
like
what
tear
does
her
her
down.
attractiveness have to do with like her ability to bear children? I'm lost on that. I'm gonna need some male perspectives to come up in here and let us know
I just think
what's what.
maybe, but I just think he, they're looking to be partnered. They're looking for long-term partners. So he was thinking about her in a partnership moving forward type of thing. And so in order to like back out of that after, hearing her age,
Mm-hmm.
he's now making stuff up is what I'm getting, to kind of be like, no, I was never actually attracted to you and I never really was into you or wanted to be around you or with you or whatever. That's what I got from it.
I'm gonna say, excuse me, Aunt Kim, I'm about to say something. That be the bullshit when you dating folks.
Yeah. I don't think she won't hear no more, but
Like that be the bullshit. Like
like be
if
honest
you
about that.
weren't, my thing is, if you lost attraction or you lost connection or you feeling differently about whatever was happening, then that's what the hell you need to tell somebody. Don't pussyfoot around. Like be 100%.
Correct. Correct. That's all you
Like
had to
that's
say was like,
crazy.
also, if that is a deal breaker for you, then that's what kills me about these dating shows. It's like, if this is a deal breaker for you, you need to put that in your survey before you get on
Hello?
this show.
Yeah. Because I don't imagine that she would have, the matchmaking lady, I don't imagine that she would have put them together if she knew that like he was adamant about wanting to have children and that
Yeah.
his partner had to be within a certain age range.
And it's not like he's 28. He's like 35 his damn self. So like what?
Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? This lady is in your age range. But I think he would have just wanted somebody a little bit younger so they would have had more time to like hang out together and just be together before they had to start thinking about having a family. And I understand that, but it's just like, don't lie about not liking a lady and trying to tear her down, I guess, in a way. I don't like that.
Right. I agree. Well, that's all we got for Love Without Borders because I don't really remember. Oh no, lies. The people in Paris.
Yes.
Child, I am with, I don't remember the French guy, I don't remember his name, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
on his side because how dare you sit there and tell my family that we're not anything serious. You're still, you don't have any real feelings and we're still getting to know one another. But then the
Mm-hmm.
night before, we didn't, frolicked and fooled around. You could have kept that to yourself and told me that, not just tell my family that because he got blindsided by the time he came back to the table. I'm like, what is going on? These people are terrible, 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 terrible.
Terrible. And
Okay.
then the people in the UAE, what's her name? Gurleen. She
Girlene
continues to
and
be terrible.
I told you.
She is
I
awful.
was like, she getting on my nerves. Like, girl, you are in another place. The culture and the tradition and the way that these people operate is totally different than your perspective and how you grew up. And like, even the matchmaker was just kind of like, it sounds like you're picking all these things, like you're finding all these things to cut yourself off from having the love that you say that you want. You're like
100%.
self-sabotaging. So like, I don't know. I am 1 foot in or half a foot into the show. I don't know that I'm going to stick with it because these people is getting on my nerves.
Yeah, they're annoying. I thought it was going to be a little more interesting than it is, but I'm in it enough to like keep watching it in the back as background noise type of thing. Because I don't think none of these couples are going to make it. So there's that.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I think they need to do like deeper questionnaires or something like that because child eye.
All right, so that's that. Anything else on Bravo that we need to chat about?
No, we made mention to poor Jen Shah going to jail 6.5 years.
Poor Jen Shah, my ass. Jen Shah got a break. She got a break because I thought she was going to get a clean 10. Easy. She ought to be thinking, she should be thanking God that she only got 6.5 years because people below her in the pyramid, they got more time than she got.
That's so crazy.
So I think the argument, or her attorneys try to make the argument of basically like, oh, she was up here and kind of removed from all of what was going on below her. But somebody below her got more time than her. Poor Jen Shah, nothing. She did what she did, and she's paying the price.
Well, I mean, poor everybody that was on that list. Everybody went to jail. Granted, they was all doing something illegal. I still feel bad. People got families.
I feel bad for their families. I feel bad for their families. They should have thought about it before they made those decisions. But yes, they have families, but they also defrauded people with families and people's inheritances. Probably their parents were going to give them a few dollars, on their way out, and now they don't have no dollars.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm saying, I am of that understanding. I just, feel bad for the people and their families. That's all.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Kendra was like, I'm not here for that. All right, and so
I'm not like a lock everybody up type of person, but when you start like doing stuff to the elderly, we have a very big issue with me.
I don't disagree with you there. Don't be fooling with the old folks.
That's too much.
Let's move on over to what have you watched and where you want to start? Okay, great.
Where you want to go?
I'm sick of the people's down to the Huntsville.
Yeah.
Sick.
As well.
Because and I feel like Carlos was sick of them too, because when they got to the thing where he was talking about there was a pact made where we're not going to talk about each other's children, we're not going to involve children and all that kind of stuff. He was just kind of like, this is funny to me how when this situation was brought to me before, when it had to do with Martell speaking to MJ's child, and somehow or another it got lost in translation that this conversation was going to happen between Martell and MJ. Mm-hmm. It never was told to Marceau, apparently, so that it was an issue. But they had all this understanding and compassion for the Scott children, to include Maurice's son, Monster. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to the Holt kids, it's just kind of like free for all. Hey, cuz, just say and do whatever. Everybody, they'll just have to deal with it. And it's just kind of like, two wrongs don't make a right, understandably. But if you're going to have this type of attitude about handling children, then it should be the same for everybody's child, not just your own.
Okay, here's the other thing. I hate to have, how I hate to agree with people who be dead wrong all the time. I low-key, the lowest of high keys, agree with Wanda. Not what she did, but their take on it, because it was really about Mel. And
it was.
Honestly, Mel started it. That's the thing that pisses me off about her, because she loves to start some mess and then run around like she's the victim. Wanda didn't say anything different than what Mel said. The only thing is that Tisha's a grown adult. But even still, that's your castmate, and you insinuated or revealed, I don't know, maybe he really was in her DMs, but you revealed on a platform where Tisha wasn't there, Wanda wasn't there, that man wasn't there, her dad wasn't there, nobody was there to defend themselves, and you revealed on Carlos King's show that Tisha's dad was in your DMs. Mm-hmm. There was no filming happening at the time, it didn't seem. So it's like Wanda snapped back at you. Hey, Candace. Wanda snapped back at you. And the only difference is your child is a minor, but she wasn't even talking about the child. She was talking about Mel. And also, Martell is the one that started that crap of Mel cheated on him. And so, he was the one that was really dusting that up. So Wanda didn't do anything to me that warranted all of what Mel was trying to give and the high horse she was trying to sit on. It's like, stop, girl.
I think too, but so just putting that one situation aside, with the baby girl and questioning the paternity, Wanda did have things to say about their children, which is why it became this huge thing. Because she was talking about, you need to do your children's hair. They walking around looking a mess, all that kind of stuff. And it's critique the parents. Don't say shit about them kids. They don't have nothing to
Yes.
do with the situation.
And so I think that maybe that was the underlying issue for all of this, and I think they did make mention of that. But as for
Mhm.
this situation, I'm kind of over it because I just feel like
Yeah.
Mel is doing the most with it, and she actually talks just as greasy and then gets mad when somebody gets back with her, and I don't like that
Mhm. I mean, listen, we are not team Mel over in these streets.
at all. She
Okay.
irritates the hell out of me.
Hello. And while I understand it's a matter of trying to protect your peace and keep your peace and all that jazz, and you trying to like keep a distance between you and all these people so that you can maintain your peace. At the same token, it's just kind of like, girl, just go on off the show and get your EP
Yeah.
credits and keep it moving.
It's giving Destiny vibes, the same thing that Kimmy said about Destiny. It's like you can't play both sides where you are so private, but you want to be on reality TV. Like, are you on
Mm-hmm.
reality TV or are you going to be private? And like, there are certain parts of your life that you can keep private, and I think that that's fine. But you can't not want to film with anybody and not want to talk about anything and not want
Yeah.
anybody to protect to disturb your peace and also want to be on reality TV. Like, how does that work?
Right.
No.
And to Destiny's part, like, understandably, her situation prior to this new relationship, she couldn't talk about it for legal reasons. So, like,
Right.
okay, let it go. She's not gonna talk about it because she's under legal like contract to shut the hell up. So, like, let that go. Like, stop giving this girl grief about her not talking about stuff. Most of the season, she was barely in, except for like the few, things that were at her home. But like, it was a couple of episodes that she just was not in at all.
And she came in as Mel's friend, honestly. So,
So now they're trying to rebrand her and figure out where she's gonna fit, So we'll see what happens as the season.
She's shown up with Martell because she started off as Martell's friend first. So she, I guess, is trying to go back over there. But it's giving weird vibes. I don't like it.
The other thing that I don't like either is that Mel tried to make it out like Martell and Destiny had some sort of thing happening.
Yeah.
Did you see that? And I was like, huh?
Mel is just vile. She just will say anything and do anything, and I don't like that. I don't like that energy.
No,
it's not fun to watch either.
It's not, because I'm like, the girl was your friend at some point. So why are we now saying that she's trying to sleep with your ex-husband?
Yeah. I don't
like
it.
Make it make sense. Either you just do not like this woman and you no longer want to be in relationship with her and you
just
aren't in relationship with her. Like, let it be.
And even with her getting into it with Kimmy, like about them not being friends or not being that good of friends, it's like, you have basically
don't
said,
talk to this girl.
You have said basically when you are filming, you don't deal with the cast. Kimmy says, yeah, we're cool, but we're not like friends like that. We don't hang out and stuff like that. And you're like, we're not real friends. It's like, no, you already said that.
No.
Like,
I'm like, don't be trying to come for Kimmy because she's the one making the most sense. Even when she read down Wanda, she's still, again, making the most sense. Like, come on. It's just dumb. And like, stop trying to perpetrate a fraud here. You and her are no longer friends because of all the foolishness that has happened with this show. And because you understandably associate all the people that's on this show with the demise of your relationship. I get it. Separate yourself. But stop trying to play this, we really good friends. We're not. You said yourself, like Kendra just said, you don't talk to them when you're not filming.
Yeah. I thought the Stormy thing was interesting about people saying that Stormy is what made the show ratchet. And I have a difference of opinion because like Stormy has an accent. Yeah, she has a very thick Southern accent. But at the end of the day, it seems to me that Stormy actually has a relationship that they all want. Like, her husband is super supportive. He is on board for whatever she wants to do. He is encouraging to her. He's taking her around. And they're wealthy. They have this huge, beautiful home. Healthy child. I think maybe they have children. I'm not sure at this point, but like, they seem like they're living the life to me. So why are we acting? And Stormy has good business sense. Like, you could tell even from when she was talking to Destiny about how she was running her distributors and stuff. She was like very clear-eyed about why she does not deal with friends. And I was like, this lady, she look like she knows what she's doing to me. So I was just like, you thought Stormy is what made this show ghetto? I personally,
which is crazy. I'm like, it was ghetto from the day one when we found out that Martell had a whole mistress for 3 years.
Listen, and has a whole side child. Like, that didn't make it ghetto
That's
for you?
ghetto.
That's the ghetto part to me. That's the ghetto part to me.
Okay, shoot. But for all intents and purposes, he got project twins. Like, come on. Them children the same age.
Like Wanda getting up here and acting ass
ghetto.
That doesn't give ghetto? Okay, it's Stormy that gave ghetto. Okay, got it. Understood.
People is crazy. Don't just because she got an accent. I think, but to that point that you just made, how I love that we're here. People judge you on how you speak. Hell, it happened on our channel. Someone made a comment a couple of weeks ago about something that I was saying, and I recognized when I was talking, I was using the word like a lot, and it was because I was thinking at the same time. So, like, yes, I do say like all the time. I grew up with white kids, okay? So,
and I do too, and that's something I'm working on because I've become more cognizant of it as I'm like reviewing our episodes and stuff. But again, it's
girl, I'm gonna be who I am. Okay, I am
just
highly educated. Like, I'm not, and to Stormy's point, again, also highly educated, has business acumen, and is very successful. I don't care nothing about them opinions. I am who I am. If I am not for everybody, if that's how you feel, you know, like,
understood. Yeah, and the last thing I would have to say about this, you know, these reunions, I don't know that I like Carlos King's style of hosting the reunions.
I mean, I appreciate that he actually gets into them as opposed to the other people just kind of glossing over, but he also is more attached because he is directly in conversation with them. So I could see like the conflict of interest.
Sometimes it's conflict of interest. Hey, Joyce, sometimes it gives conflict of interest in a way that is like you're pulling in behind the scenes information that we don't know, we haven't seen. So, and it's not in a way that's presenting us new information, really. It's like, you're like, because remember what you said? Or prime example with Martell, he was like, no, because you've never had a problem with emailing me and telling me before that you didn't like something. So if it was that big of a deal, why didn't you email me? And I was just like,
I mean,
I don't know that we needed that exchange for the reunion.
At that point, though, Martell was trying to come for him. So, I mean, I'm not mad. You know, it happens.
I get it, but from a person who watches, and again, I'm not comparing. I know it's two different people, different styles, but from a person who watches Housewives, like Andy Cohen, he kind of takes it from the perspective of a viewer. And it kind of deals with what was seen on TV. Now, if somebody brings up something that was behind the scenes, like when they started bringing up the HR issues and like situations and stuff, he did mention like, hey, yeah, HR was involved with this, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, he looks at what we saw. And I don't think Carlos, he'd be trying to give, it'd be too much background for me. Like he gets into he goes in and out of his producer hat, and sometimes I don't really want it. Like I don't really need all of those personal like connections and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. It makes perfect sense to me, child. But I'm still here for him getting people together when he needs to.
No, I do like him hosting.
I like the inside track.
The only part. Yeah, I like him hosting. The thing that
gets on my nerves with Andy is that Andy will have these opinions about things, but he just does not give them. And it's like, come on now. Like, okay, you don't have to give your opinion, but you could very well call out the things that people are pointing out that you can see in conversation.
Yeah.
As the third party.
No, I agree with you. Like, I like Carlos hosting the reunions, and I like that part of him holding them accountable. I just think like it's a lot of background stuff that he does and EP stuff that he does that I think he could not for me. For my taste.
Well, I mean, I don't have too much else to say about the folks down at Huntsville.
Neither do I. You? Nope.
All right, so did you get to Ready to Love?
I did. It was uneventful, honestly.
I feel like everybody is just hit. Well, not everybody. All the men was just hit. That's the gentlest way I can say that. You have a cast full of beautiful, available women, and the men are just lackluster. Granted, last season it was similar, but at least we had a couple of lookers, but the ones that was actually lookers was just there to be on TV.
Yes. I
So
hate
it's
to
like
say
you're
it.
gonna get one or the other.
I hate to say it. I hope y'all don't, I felt like they could have swapped the men and the women this year from last cast. I thought the
Mhm.
men were more attractive last season and the women are more attractive this season. And I'm like,
Agreed.
y'all could have just swapped. And then
Put
everybody
all
could
the
have been
pretty
on
people on
equal.
one show.
Right. But yeah,
Just saying.
nobody stuck out to me yet.
No. The only thing
On
that I did that stuck out to me was a conversation between
You didn't miss anything, but
Corvea.
Joyce said she didn't watch Ready to Love yet, and you didn't miss nothing yet.
You ain't missing
So.
nothing, boo. It's just like the beginning where everybody meeting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Corvea, which is the woman that is Hispanic and Black, and
Okay.
then there was like a Caribbean man. I don't remember his name. I have the list of everybody's names over there, but of course I forgot to bring it to the desk. But so they were having a conversation. It was the two guys and Corvea, and they're having a conversation about, like, do you live alone, like so on and so forth. And like she just basically was like, well, if you don't have your own place, like, I don't know, I can't do with you or something like that. And so
Yeah.
the other guy started jokingly laughing. He was like, well, I have a roommate, like, and he was like, and to my defense, what happened was my landlord told me like within 30 days I had to be out because they were doing whatever with the property, so I just had to hurry up and find something. And
Yeah.
so she proceeded to just be like really dismissive and nasty to him. And it's like, girl, it's my
Also,
thing is we need more context. If he was in
yeah,
that position because like it just happened, and so like he's signed a
it
lease and
seemed like
he's
he
there and so on
did.
and so forth, then like, okay, that does not mean that he's incapable of having lived on his own and having his own stuff. He just had to hurry up and find something as opposed to living in like an extended stay or something else. Girl, if he was living in something like that, you would have thought he was homeless and really been dismissing him.
Yeah. And for a bit of context, like during the pandemic and immediately, I would say even still kind of now, but less so now, but people's rents were doubling in Miami,
Yeah.
and in some cases more than doubling, going from like 2,000 to like 4 overnight, or
That's crazy.
4,500 in some cases. I know people whose rent went up, like they had to move. They had to find somewhere else to live because they were like, I can't afford this. But people's rents were going up from 2,000 or 2,500 to $4,000 overnight. So, and with Miami, it's a lot of private rentals. There aren't really that. They're building more apartments, so that kind of stabilizes things. But really, it's mostly for rent by owners. So they don't have no rules. They just be out here wild and free. So it's very possible that somebody was like, yeah, cool, you're paying 2,500 on your own, $2,000 on your own. I'm gonna need $4,000 from you right now.
Like, what the hell? That is crazy.
Yeah.
And then
also
to have
a bit of cultural context. And she made mention to this a little bit, but just a bit of cultural context. It's not uncommon for people in Miami to live with their families until they like get married or save for a house or whatever. Like I've known people up there in age, like late 30s, who were still living at home and were happy. Like they weren't trying to go nowhere unless they got married or found enough or saved enough money to buy a house. They were not going anywhere. So it's not uncommon for that to be the case.
Like, save
Not
your
here.
money, child. But my thing
not
is, he
here.
basically was just kind of like, yo, I have a roommate because of this situation. And she was just super dismissive of him.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like that, attitude. I understand wholeheartedly her stance. Like, if I can do it and I have my own, then my partner should be able to do it too. I get you on that. But in this instance, he's telling you what happened. Like, if he's someone that's just doing the same thing, like it don't change, because you don't know him from Adam. So you to judge him off of one thing that he said happened to him and then just dismiss him altogether, like either you are attracted to him and you want to get to know him or you don't. And if that's the case, say that. Don't just use some like BS like, oh, arbitrary, I'm gonna dismiss you type stuff, because it just makes her look like Sharice from the last season with the bad attitude.
Yeah. And like again, you know what the economy is. You know what all of these transient people did to this economy, where everybody was packing up all their stuff from New York and LA, happy to pay $3,500 when we were paying $2,000, or $1,800 or whatever. Like happy to throw $4,000 at something, and that's a deal for them. And you know
and they have a
that
whole lot
it
more
messed up
space.
our market. So like sitting here acting like, they gotta have their own, like, all right, cool. Go off.
It was just a turn off. But then I remember now. I still can't remember his name, the guy she was talking to, but it was her, Demario, the guy with I've nicknamed him Tricky Eyes, because in some scenes his eyes look gray, and other scenes they look hazel.
Okay.
Yes.
Like tricky eyes now.
Tricky Eyes, my guy. But like the two of them were having this conversation that was very superficial, very pretentious, very much about like the labels and the this and the that. And it's just kind of like, ooh, like turn off.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you into, this sound like y'all don't have no substance.
Yeah.
You too old. He's in his 40s. I don't remember how old homegirl was, but like he's in his 40s, and you talking about like you asking her about her fashion sense and like because she had on a very expensive pair of shoes. I think it's Rina Muadi or something like that. I might be getting
Amina
the names
Muadi.
mixed. No, not Amina. It's I know the designer name. I just put the two together.
Oh, it's like
Rina, it starts with a C. I'll put it in the whatchamacallits later. But anyway, so yeah, like I just was like, what, like, why is this the conversation?
Yeah, I remember that and being like, what are y'all talking about? And just moving on.
Yeah.
Like,
the other person that stood out to me was homeboy that was talking about he 87% sure he want to have children.
Did not. He said 87%.
That he did not. Excuse me. Yes. I'm like, what? But he gives me old school fine. Like he was fine back in his heyday. He relied on his looks, and he could get and do whatever the case may be because he's pretty boy fine or whatever have you. And so he's still carrying that mentality when you now have 3 children with 3 different people, even though one of them is an adult. Like you still have 2 kids, 2 different baby mamas. And you up here talking about you 87% sure that you don't want to have kids.
He's a clown.
You don't want to have any more children. Say that.
Yeah, exactly. And literally, if the other guy wasn't so short, he would have went home first.
Child. Okay, so that was my question, because like I watched it on the app, and for some reason the last few minutes was just gone. So who went home? The
short guy. And then I don't remember who went home on the women's side.
Okay. For some reason, the app just played literally like up until they got to the front, and it was just standing there, and then like there was nothing else. I'm like, what the hell? Where's the rest of the episode?
There is one person on this episode that I recognize from social media, the lawyer. I was just Sue Ann, I think is her name. I was like, wow, I'm surprised she's here.
The bubbly girl.
I don't remember if she was bubbly or what, but she, she's like, she's like a real life respected attorney. I was like, wow, surprised she's here.
I mean, well, so was Simone. Simone Redwine was a respected attorney also. She got several different, I think her licenses in several different states from Texas.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she has like high profile cases and stuff that I'm surprised that she's embarked upon this. That's all.
Got it.
I'll tell you the case later. But
offline conversations.
And it could have been she started moving in that direction after this, but I was just like, I'm surprised she was here. I've been following her for a while. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Child, it's gonna be a hot mess. Yeah, I'm interested, or I'm waiting for Love and Marriage DC to come because Huntsville is done, and non-scripted television.
They have one more, don't they? Because they didn't do the Kimmy, whatever they had. Kimmy was crying hysterically from the last time, and everybody in the cast was crying. They didn't show that part yet. I think they got one more part.
Oh, child, I don't know why they give us three episodes, because we don't need that for a reunion.
We don't need it.
We really don't. It only needs to be 2. But yeah, so I mean, I'll watch it, but I don't care nothing about that. I mean, I care about Kimmy, but like I don't need
care about Kimmy
episode. So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to Love and Marriage DC because our Ready to Love stars or breakout stars, in my opinion, Joy and Clifton are going to be joining them. And for non reality TV, I'm looking forward to seeing oh my God, what is that the show now? My brain. It's coming in February. Yes. Thank you.
Same.
Like, what is all of a sudden? I just couldn't remember. I could see the thing in my mind. Anyway, but yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that because I need some more good scripted television. And Harlem is shaping up to be a nice one. So, but yeah. Y'all get down in the comments and let us know what you're watching, what your thoughts were on the shows that we talked about. And if you think there's something new that we should add into our repertoire, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in our next conversation. Bye.
Bye, y'all.